Hi, so I'm John Alsop, and I'm a marketer, and marketing has a bit of a bad reputation, and that's one of the things I wanted to kind of set straight first off. My definition of marketing is we go out and find problems, and we organise ourselves to sustainably solve those problems. So for me, marketing's this enormous force for good in the world. And I know that, people are quite cynical about sales and marketing. But that's the marketing that I do. And that is genuinely what I believe marketing, on the whole, is like and is about and is for. I think it's the biggest force for good in the world. And one of the things that the internet's given us, I've been a marketer for forever, like since 1981, I would say. And one of the things that the internet's given us, that we could only dream of back in the day, is the ability to get really close to the people that we serve. And that helps us get really to the bottom of problems that, it allows us to discover problems that perhaps we wouldn't have had a chance to discover before. So this closeness really kind of motivates me, really excites me. And one of my kind of specialist topics is SEO, search engine optimization, which is really, I have a friend, my best friend is an artist, and he wants to be discovered. And that's really what SEO is all about. So you have the kind of marketing that people tend not to like, which is the kind of interruption marketing. You're trying to get something done, and then this ad kind of comes up and wants you to buy something. It's the shake and back type style of ad. But search engine optimization is about being there in Google, being findable when somebody who has the problem that you solve has it in that moment, and then you can help them. That's basically it. And then you're not around the rest of the time. That feels like a really kind of helpful world. It feels like, okay, so what do I need? Okay, I need a thing, and I type it into Google, and here a bunch of solutions come up, and that's a good thing, right? So the problem with SEO, just kind of internally, is it's rapidly changing. The techniques that you might use, there's forever techniques. Be fabulous. That's the kind of, that's the rule. So that's forever. But some of the kind of nitty-gritty techniques that you might use that worked kind of a year ago may not work this year. So if you, as an amateur, go looking for SEO techniques and you search on Google, you may end up reading out-of-date advice. So I built a system to kind of manage all of that, and to retire old advice that doesn't work anymore, and to prioritize. So if you're only going to do this, if you're only going to do one SEO thing, this is the thing to do. So it does that. And I kind of thought, well, this is all very kind of interesting. But what I don't know is what ordinary people who are running their business, what their attitude is towards SEO. I mean, and there's a good web developer here locally who is really against SEO. Okay, whatever. But so even within the industry, really, it's not really controversial. But anyway, there are those people. So I wanted to get closer to my market and find out what people think about SEO. So I put out on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, okay, let's do a free half-hour consultation, and we'll just I'll try and dig down into what it is you're trying to achieve, and I'll try and get you moved forward in a marketing sense. So you're on this lily pad, I'll try and get you onto the next lily pad. There's a barrier, I'll try and get you through that barrier. And with an SEO theme, but it could have been anything. But and just try and understand where people are at. So that was the thing about that. So I put that out, free consultation, half an hour. The only people who came back to me were artists. Well, that's kind of interesting. That's interesting. My relationship with art is distant but enthusiastic. Here's my I drew this for you earlier. That's my drawing of a house, and that's my drawing of a dog. So that is my level of artistic capability. I'm gonna have a drink of tea. So I love it from afar. You've got your skills, I've got mine. Okay. But when we moved I live in Scarborough. Scarborough, I mean, it's maybe not St Ives, but it does have a big artistic community. And so we got kind of hooked into that. I did some marketing for Coastable, which is an arts festival here for a few years. Got to know a load of artists, so that was all kind of cool. So we had these kind of consultations, and actually my perception of what an artist is got changed. I don't know whether this is insulting to think this or not, but I kind of thought that people play to their strengths, and I've worked with enough designers, like commercial designers, to know that there is an increased prevalence of kind of word blindness in that community, because I'm always copy checking it and correcting their mistakes. So I kind of thought, well, maybe artists are artists because that was their strength, and perhaps it was their overriding strength because of dyslexia. I'm going to say that. So there's going to be some of that, I thought. But what I actually found was that the artists that I spoke to were really entrepreneurial. They were on top of their administration, and they were really trying to get their art out. So that was really interesting. Anyway, I don't know where that gets us. So it turns out, so I started blogging about what I was finding out, and so if I had a consultation with an artist and they said this problem, and I went, okay, this solution, and everybody went, hey, that's brilliant. Then I could blog about it in a kind of generic sense and say, hey, look, if you're having this kind of problem, then I think this is kind of the solution, and so that formed a really interesting blog. And you can go and read it. It's artistseo.blog. artistseo.blog. Go and have a look. So that's all fine. You can have a free consultation if you like, and we'll kind of do this for you. So if you go to artistseo.blog, you'll find contact details in there in a form, and go for it. And so that's the first offer, and I get a lot out of that because I get the understanding of what the artist community is like and what the kind of general issues are. So it's very much it's very fair. Don't feel obliged that because it's free or anything. I do get a lot out of that. If you feel like you would like to carry on, then yes, there is kind of chargeable coaching. That's doable. So fine. But there's something else as well, which is it's called the website to do. Because I also build websites, and one of the things, so I'm looking at artists' websites and they're kind of not very good. And often it's kind of, my nephew built this, and or it's kind of just a place to dump stuff, and you got into the habit of putting stuff up, but really it's not properly organised, and it's not really doing you any favours. So, and weirdly, not a lot of design stuff, and that's kind of fine. I'm very cool with that. But basically, what the website to do is you join with 7 other artists, and we go one per day, and we all review one of the artists' websites. So you get a day off because you're the one being reviewed. All the reviews come into me, so we don't start warfare and interpersonal bitchiness, and all of that is stripped out. So you review a peer's website, and you send that review to me, and nothing complicated. All it is I like this and I don't like that. That's all it is. And I'll have a look at the website as well and kind of do a bit more of a professional appraisal. And then you get this review of your website with a list of things that your peers and I suggest you do to improve your website. So it's kind of prioritised, and so it gives you a to-do list, so you know where you're going with your website, and hopefully they're easy things to do. So it just gives you a bit of a roadmap. All right, and then so we'll get to the end of the week, and then I'll summarise all of the kind of findings. Really, here are the things that seem to be wanted and desired and desirable in an artist's website. So that we'll start to get some kind of guidelines about what makes a good artist website. And I don't know, we've not done this yet. This is new, and it's chargeable. It's £20. Well, it's £19.95 to be one of those 7 people. And there's a link on the Artist SEO blog. You can go and put in your £19.95 and be one of the 7 people. and that's it. If you haven't got 1995, then you can buy the generic report at the end for $9.95, and we'll go with that and see what happens. So that's kind of the plan. That's the website to do. So I'll try and get that done pretty quickly and see where we end up, because we might end up with some fabulous guidelines for artist websites. So that's kind of what this project's all about. It's all about getting artists on to the next step, getting, it's not that I understand that artists don't necessarily want to be kind of rich. There's a lot of kind of fairness about it. I'll tell you what, there's kind of a bigger thing to this, which is that I don't really kind of like how the world is going, and that thing that says the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creativity. Because you can kind of, and there's the myth of the struggling artist, that out of passion and horror and destitution comes great art. But actually it's kind of relaxation and comfort that brings about creativity. You need to be not worried about where your food's coming from, or whether you can put the heating on. All of that kind of needs to be secure so that you can think about the job in hand. So you need to get to a place of comfort and security, and in order to flower as an artist, so regularity, security, those kinds of things. And I kind of want a world which has more empathy in it, and has more creativity in it, and has more humanity in it, and more understanding in it. And so that's what this is all about. I want there to be more art in the world, because kind of, for me, art is kind of the thing that's going to save us. That's where I'm at politically. So I kind of want a love revolution. That's what I'm aiming at, and that's what this is all about. So join in, go and have a look at artistseo.blog. You can sign up to the mailing list there, and then you'll see all these blog entries when I do them. If you want to be one of the artists that does that review, the website to do, go and sign up for that, and we'll change the world. Alright, take care. Where's my off button?